when people say, what advice would you give an actor? I say, the first thing I would say to any actor is don't take advice from actors. It would be the worst thing to do because we all have our unique experience. And I think that's what makes it so special is that, you know, what would work for me maybe wouldn't work for Jack or for Sheila or, and it's just so fun. So I'm just so excited for them, really. Only the enthusiasm for these two is what's keeping my eyes open right now.
Hi, I'm Ramin Instituta, the co-editor-in-chief of Variety, and I'm here with Julia Roberts at the Cannes Film Festival. Julia is in the south of France because she gave the Chopard Trophy last night, which is an award to up-and-coming talent in Hollywood, to Sheila Atim and Jack Lowden. Hey guys, welcome, congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How has it felt to be here in Cannes and to have Julia Roberts be your Chopard godmother?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's kind of surreal.
Really good.
Yeah. It was a very, very good Thursday.
Yeah. No, in all seriousness, it's been really kind of magical. And I just have to say, like, Julie's been such a wonderful godmother in not just, you know, doing the thing of presenting the awards and all the rest of it, but just being really encouraging and like effervescent and kind of luminous. It's like, it's lovely. I think that's what you want, right? When you're somebody who's, you know, forging a career and wanting encouragement and like, been really exemplary and looked after us.
Are you on first name basis with her now?
Yeah, Jules. Sorry. Sorry, Julia Roberts.
Julia, you said last night that you wouldn't have flown to Cannes if this wasn't really important for you. Can you talk about why you came here to give these awards?
Well, because I think that they're both incredible, and I think I said last night, you know, there's something I think almost incorrect to say sort of up and coming actors because they've both done so much incredible work already, but it is that just the hoisting. I mean, none of us are anything if we don't have those around us encouraging us, making us feel seen and heard, and holding us up to a light that they deserve. And so for me, it's that humanity. I mean, as actors, we love community. Obviously, it's like being on a movie set. It's this little planet of family that you have for 3 months or 6 months or whatever it is, and that sense of community, I think, is something that we all really gravitate towards clearly as artists. And this, in a very surreal way, is that too. My favorite moments have been just when the three of us can huddle together a little bit and not be in the mob. And I'm also really homesick, so I've become very like inside of myself, almost too attached to the two of them. Like as they're talking this morning, I'm just, you know, it's just so touching, and I'm just happy to get to further down the line, take all the credit, which I will.
Are they going to call you? Are you going to help them with advice? You said last night, you said they shouldn't call you, right?
Well, I said they don't need to call me. They've got it. They've got it. But of course, I would take their calls.
Guys, can you talk a little bit about how your career has evolved or started out? What were some of the first things you auditioned for, or what are some of the roles that you're most proud of?
The first thing I auditioned for, I played John in Peter Pan, the sort of annoying brother, in a stage production in Edinburgh, where I had a harness on underneath pajamas. I was 12, and I used to I would run off stage just before I had to fly, and a big bloke would attach a rope to my harness, and it was sort of dangling from the roof when I went, I want to be an actor.
Is that illegal?
It was legal then. It shouldn't be anymore.
Yeah.
But you know, it moved people, I think. It was magical.
I'm moved by the story. Right
Yeah,
now.
I know.
Were you scared of heights, or were you okay with the heights?
I was fine with the heights. But I was so in character that I sort of didn't notice the height. Yeah, that was the beginning.
Wow. The first thing I auditioned for was a play called Ghost Town. I just signed with my agent, Lucy Middleweek, who I'm still with, who's wonderful. And yeah, it was literally the first audition that came through, and we just had this meeting where that was me figuring out I was kind of going to be an actor. It all kind of happened in a very roundabout way. And she called me, she was like, "You got it, your first audition, you got the job." And I was like, "Great." And I was playing the manifestation of somebody's OCD, which is quite intense. It's less lighthearted than your one.
Well, yeah.
Kind of brought the tone down a little bit, but
Not the way I played it.
Yeah.
Was it? I was
Yeah.
It was quite a dark John.
Yeah. In your
Wow,
pajamas.
that's nuts. You played the manifestation.
Yeah,
Wow,
the
that's
character's name was Kira,
that's
and
a
again, it was a stage production, and yeah, she kind of haunted the main character. It was a three-hander, and it was intense, and there was sand on stage. You don't need to know anymore, but that was the first thing.
Right out of the gates.
Yeah, come on. I mean, it's not like that's not a consistent rule. There's definitely things I haven't got, but that again was a really nice like, oh, maybe I could do this for real. Like, sure, someone thinks I'm good.
Julie, do you remember your first audition?
Oh my gosh, we'd have to get in a time machine. No, I mean, I'm sure it was a disaster. I'm so deeply thankful for all the jobs that I didn't get, because I auditioned for a lot of really terrible commercials and not quality television. And so I think it was a lot of good fortune that no one wanted me. I look back on it with real good feelings now.
I'm sure those commercial people really did a great job by passing on Julia Roberts for their shitty commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fuming now.
Fools.
I couldn't believe Money Monster was your first can. I remember being in the premiere for that and thinking, how did they not invite this movie or this movie or this movie or this movie? But how was it?
Well, I think things were invited, but it's terrifying here. It's terrifying, and I get very nervous. I've been in complete nerves for 3 days, and I will go home and collapse, just my blood pressure going down. I find this all kind of, it's a beautiful chaos. It's a lot. You were so calm yesterday on the red carpet. I turned to him for comfort. I was like, "Is your heart beating 100 times a minute?" And he was like, "No, I'm good." I was like, "Oh, I need to find somebody else to talk to."
I'm going to regret that for the rest of my life. I honestly am going to regret that.
You had so much poise. I thought, wow, what do I do? How do I, turn this down? It's just, it's a lot.
But it's amazing to watch you at this here, and just what you have to deal with. And we were saying that, like in the hotel lobby, and like
The
and
lobby
watching the grace that
yeah.
you have is sort of absolutely. It's just remarkable.
Oh, thank you.
It's incredible.
I'm glad I like my name, because it just gets shouted in my face a lot here. I think it's a nice name. Thanks, Mom and Dad. It's nice.
When you were here for Money Monster, I remember you walked the carpet barefoot, and people thought that was a political statement. Was that a political statement, or were you just...
I leave it to everyone to decide for themselves, but I will say when I got to the top of the stairs yesterday, Terry goes, "You made it with your shoes on." I said, "Yeah, I did. Got them on." But you know what was incredible was when I took my shoes off, and I did it kind of subtly underneath my long gown. I just stepped out of my shoes and then walked up the stairs, and about halfway up, I did think to myself, how do I get those back, I wonder?
Yeah.
Didn't really think this through, I guess. And when I got to the top of the stairs, the very top of the stairs, this very nice man said, "Madame, your shoes." He put them down for me. Thank you. It's so sweet. I have no idea who it was, but it was so sweet. I was very
Can you
grateful.
imagine if you didn't have shoes for the rest of the night? That would have been tough.
And P.S., they weren't my shoes to lose, right? So, yeah, I was glad I got them back.
There's been a discussion here about the theatrical experience and how important it is for audiences to go to the movies. Cannes is a celebration of cinema. How important is it for you as younger actors for audiences to see your work in a movie theater versus streaming it at home?
I don't really care. Like honestly, I think it's a wonderful thing to go and see something at cinema, obviously, and you'll always want that. But the work as seen is probably the most important thing. you know, and not everybody can go to a cinema. Not everybody, you know, there's a big disparity between, you know, rural and urban. Like I come from the countryside, and you know, to go to the cinema is like an effort. If it means that people can watch a film that they'd not normally watch because they can get it on their phone, and some
Maybe
people
not watch it on your phone.
Well, I know, but like,
but maybe on your laptop
but,
or your TV.
iPad.
I think I'm really good on a phone. I think I look better.
I will
The
tell you,
further
you
away.
don't look as tall.
Right. Yeah. True. No, but it's obviously a big thing at the moment. But I think it's wonderful that more people can see things. You know.
Yeah, I think the accessibility that people have found through streaming is really beautiful. But what I will say is that I recently just wrapped like a film which was quite epic in scale, and I hadn't seen any of it, but there was a clip of it in my sort of showreel last night, which really threw me because I hadn't seen it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing and experiencing that.
The sound and the
yeah, and also because it is a story that, you know, has not been told before at all. It's the Woman King. It's about this you know, all-female African army in 1800s Benin, pre-colonial times. And I of course, if somebody's not able to get to cinema, I'd love them to be able to, you know, watch it on a phone. I probably won't look as tall either. But to be able to sit there and have that kind of moment of, you know, I don't know, it's not just representation, it's more than that, but I think that experience, I'd like people to be able to have that, and I think it's good to encourage that where possible, whilst also not discriminate against people who just want to, you know, want to see it in the comfort of their own homes. I think both are a great thing.
Julia, how do you feel about this?
Well, I mean, I thought that was very well expressed, my godson.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I do think, though, that nothing truly replaces being in the dark and just energetically having that experience with strangers. That bringing that collective feeling together with people that you don't know. There's something unique and so special about that, and it's, you know, it's why we got into this business, because of that feeling. I think I can speak for my godchildren about certain things. I mean, my husband just took my two sons to a movie theater to see The Shining, which of course happened because I was out of town. And I would have been like, even when he texted me, he said, I was like, I've changed my mind. It's too scary. Don't take them in there, you know. And it scared them mightily, and they loved it. And to have that kind of experience in 2022, to watch a film that's so outstanding, and to be a teenager and have had that, you know, it's special. So, you know, if you can have that experience, and I think during the lockdown of the pandemic, the only tears I shed were after having a conversation with a friend of mine and having a moment where I thought, wow, that experience might be gone forever. And I just had a little cry, because it's one of my favorite things, to eat popcorn and watch a movie in the dark in a space with people. You know, it's just a beautiful thing.
How did it feel to go back to the movies?
Really weird.
Yeah.
Really weird. You know, I mean, we all had our masks on, and it was great to walk to the, you know, theater, and it was exciting, and it did feel like you could see the bloom actually happening of the world sort of starting again. But it was a very strange feeling, and people were definitely scattered apart. It wasn't the shoulder to shoulder sense of we're all in this together. It was like, we'll be in this, can you be over there, you know. But now I think it's, you know, it's getting there. We're all kind of limping our way towards normality.
Julie, you're in Gaslit, where you play Martha Mitchell on the limited series. Can you talk a little bit about, her story kind of got lost, I think, in a lot of the retellings of Watergate. Why do you think that is? Why don't you think she was more front and center when we think back to that time?
Well, I think because she was a female, and so they just sort of deleted her. I mean, Nixon despised her, and he even said if it hadn't been for Martha Mitchell, there would have been no Watergate. And so I think, you know, history gets so easily rewritten in the masculine form, and I think all the stories, I mean, Alan Pakula, my beloved Alan Pakula, All the President's Men is such an amazing film, and there are no women in it. So I think for her, she was really a one of a kind to be married to John Mitchell and to be so devoted and in love with him. And she really was the sort of perfect housewife with her outfits and her hair pieces and how charismatic she was. But she also had her truth, which was in opposition to her husband's truth and her husband's boss, who happened to be the president. And she was not shy to speak her mind. So I think she was really unique in that way and in that time. And it made her wildly famous, just being a person who said what they believed in. And I adored her. I loved playing that part, and I loved doing it with Sean, who's a great friend, and we just beat the crap out of each other in that show. It's so crazy.
Did he stay in character between takes, or is he someone that comes out of character?
No.
Did you?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding.
Have you ever stayed in character?
No way. Are you kidding?
Yeah, man.
God,
Have either of
it
you?
is too much. You got to put that bag down.
Yeah, no.
I actually find it more useful to come in and out. You refresh, you have another go, you try again. And I think also just for your mental health as a person, we have to remember to try and create a delineation between our work and what we do. Because we're sort of, I was going to say something really overblown, but we are dealing in the business of emotions, right, and humanity. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's very easy for the two to start to cross over. And for me personally, I find it really useful to just...
I mean, I admire people that do that. I mean, it looks exhausting to me. And I secretly think, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could be that intense. I just can't.
Yeah.
I also find that do you not find that the people that normally do it, it's not a coincidence that they're always playing horrible characters. And I'm kind of like, if you were playing like an ice cream man,
yeah,
you wouldn't be staying in character because you wouldn't get to shout at people or be horrible.
Did you stay in character when you played Peter when you were 12? Because you said he was
John.
dark, but he was in his... Oh, John,
he was
sorry.
annoying John.
I was John.
Annoying John. How did you do that?
It was just, I just stay. I don't really go into it, to be honest.
I'm sorry.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Let's move on. Sorry.
Sheila, can you talk a little bit about being part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and what that has meant to you?
I can. That is mad to me. Marvel has just become this huge thing that has kind of taken over cinema in a way. And I'm in a superhero film. Like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
It's
like,
so rad. It's
whatever.
so rad.
So
Whatever.
casual.
It's fine.
Are you a
And-
superhero in it?
I can't do that. Oh, maybe I can now that it's out.
Now that it's out, I think you can tell.
I can do magic. Yeah, I can do a little bit of.
Wow.
Not now, but
That's when you should have stayed in character.
yeah,
when
yeah,
you could do
yeah.
magic.
Except when the magic doesn't work, then
Yeah,
it's
right,
awkward,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
So
Wow. So
yeah.
you've got a
I
super.
do a bit of magic. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, no. In all seriousness, I had a really great time working with Benedict Cumberbatch and Benny Wong in particular. They were so wonderful and generous, and that was my first experience doing something on that scale with, you know, green screen and blue screen and fantasy, and I think it's really amazing that, I don't know, someone like me can be in something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
How did it feel to have the movie come out and it to be #1 and to be, I mean, is it surreal to you that like everyone around the world is going and seeing Doctor Strange at the same time?
It's crazy. And do you know what's crazy is, you know, I live in East London, and I'm still adjusting to the like people recognizing me thing. And for the first 5 years of my career, I just did theatre, I just did stage, and then started to branch into TV, and then, you know, film is like a kind of new extension on that. So I'm very used to getting recognized by like a small community of people for like, oh, I saw you in this show, or I saw you in this thing. And I've got people in Sainsbury's like, not sure if it's me, and then kind of like slowly following me through the aisles and then being like, you're in Doctor Strange? I'm like, yeah, with like milk in my hand. And then being like, well done. And what I love is, you know, sometimes they don't ask for a photo, they just want to confirm it and then go, cool, that's cool, well done, you were great. And they leave, and that's Yeah, it's that experience is mad because it's all around the world. It's kind of everywhere I go now. Everyone's like, "You're in Doctor Strange." I was, sure. It's mad. I mean, I'm saying it to you like you don't know.
It's so sweet. I love that you're having such a sweet experience right now.
Yeah. She would have thrown the milk.
Yeah. I mean, it is also, it's interesting. It's something that I'm a little bit apprehensive about as well, how intrusive it can get. But at the moment, it's fairly benign at the moment.
Well, I used to get things like this. Like a woman would come up to me in the grocery store, and it's like I used to sort of just cut off all my hair every couple of years. You just give it a good chop and go, it'll grow back. Go, yeah. Like mothers who just feel like I go to school with their daughters or something, and it'll grow back. Wow. It's like that kind of thing where you go, like, yeah, that's what hair does.
Yeah.
Usually, traditionally, it's those kind of funny things that happen, or.
Yeah, I think the strange thing when people feel like they have more ownership over you than they actually do. And I've had some experiences that have been like balancing on that line, but at the moment, for the most part, it's just been like pointing, or like I've had people filming me, which is weird. That was strange.
Jack, I wanted to talk to you about working with Christopher Nolan on Dunkirk. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, mad. It was amazing. Quite a while ago now, but it was.
You were this was.
I think I was like 25.
How did you find out that you were cast in a Christopher Nolan movie?
How did I find out?
Yeah.
Well, it's rigorous. It's like multiple rounds of auditioning and with him, and because he does absolutely everything.
Could you tell that he liked you, or does he have like a stoic face?
No, he's pretty poker faced. No, I had no idea if he liked me at all. The quite amazing thing is, I don't think I've ever said it, but in one of my auditions, it was with Harry Styles. So I was a bit like, it was just mental all of a sudden. I was like, Christopher Nolan and Harry Styles, and there's just me. And then me and Harry Styles had to pretend to be in a boat, sat opposite each other in chairs. And then I forgot one of my lines, and Harry Styles gave me my line. I went, oh, cheers. And we went back to go and sat on chairs. So it was kind of surreal. And that was sort of that job started like that. So that was a very strange moment. But yeah, working with him, he's a genius. He's phenomenal, and he, like when I'm in the cockpit in the plane, Chris Nolan is straddled, sat on top of the cockpit while I'm trying to get out, because he wants to hold the canopy door shut. So like I'm trying to get out and I'm just looking straight up the legs of Christopher Nolan, and I'm trying to pretend that I'm fighting for my life when there's just Christopher Nolan in like khaki trousers like this. Or when I'm in the thing and I'm like pretending to see a Messerschmitt, I'm flying for my life. It's Chris Nolan in front moving the thing, going, they're behind you, and all this kind of stuff. And he actually even, because to get the shadow to across my face, I think he just attached a plate, like a paper plate, to a stick, and was just stood there himself, going like that. Wow. And I was pretending that it was a plane, So yeah, so that's one of the times I didn't stay in character, because I thought, that's not going to be helpful. So that it was a surreal experience, and then just Big Stylesy just sat down next to you. Big Stylesy.
Did you call him Big Stylesy to his face?
Was
it a thing?
No, not to his face. I'm going to start it.
You should try it, yeah.
Yeah.
Give him a call.
I'm going to regret this whole conversation.
Julia, have you ever met Harry Styles?
I have. How about that?
You should call him Big Stylesy too. I've never met him.
I have met him, and he has got. Okay, that story is just. I loved it so much. I loved it.
Finally moved someone.
I loved it so much. I kept thinking, God, if he was a really top shelf director, he would have drawn a plane on the paper plane.
Yeah.
Or cut it out in the shape of a paper plane. Or something.
Yeah, something.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, how did you meet Harry Styles?
I don't think I should divulge that.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. It was backstage at the Ellen show, and he was the guest going on after me, and he was as sweet and charming as a young man could be. I was quite taken with his fine manners, and he was very charming. Did you find him to be quite charming?
Hugely charming. But you've already got a grandson, a godson.
Yes,
So just,
I don't have a
please.
grandson.
No, you don't have a grandson. Sorry, no. No, you
But
don't.
no, you're number one.
Right, sweet,
He's
great.
number 4. Let's say. Let's just put it in some perspective.